Today we're going to be taking a look at a custom limited time Easter themed controller from Hex Gaming. It is a PS5 DualSense controller with 4 remappable rear buttons. Technically they're 2 paddles and 2 buttons. We're going to unbox this controller. I'm going to showcase the features, show you how to remap the paddles. Then I'm going to give you the pros, cons, verdict, and where you can pick this thing up. Let's get it. This is your controller captain. We've reached 6,900 feet. Go ahead and start flicking the sticks and mollywopping the back paddles. You don't like back paddles? How about those rear buttons? We've tested almost 100 custom and premium controllers, and we're only at the beginning. You need a thumbstick guide or tutorial on how to overclock your controller? Check out the controller playlist.
Bing bong.
Controller captain out. So quick disclaimer, this controller was sent for review. However, this is going to be an honest, comprehensive review. If there's any cons or shortcomings, any areas of improvement for the next version, you're going to hear about it. Now, this is an Easter themed controller, and Easter is well and gone behind us. There was a bit of a logistics delay getting my unit out for review. If at any time during the video this spikes your interest and you decide you want to pick one of these up, use coupon code Stallions at checkout for 5% off. So this is going to be the 5th controller I've reviewed from Hex Gaming, which is an offshoot of Extreme Rate, which is a company that sells individual parts or components. So if you're trying to build yourself a custom controller and you want to change things out like face buttons, add your own swappable thumbsticks, or even add remappable paddle and rear button kits that do not require soldering, unless you want to remap L3 and R3, which your thumbs are already sitting on anyways. And what Hex Gaming does is take premium Extreme Rate parts, authorized as they are a sister company, assembles them for you because a lot of people do not feel comfortable taking apart a controller and building them component by component. And they do offer a warranty. However, it is the shortest warranty I have ever seen. I rip on Scuff and other companies that offer a 6-month warranty. This is a 3-month warranty or 90-day. However, if you snap a hot selfie of yourself and post it on the gram or make a TikTok video with them, basically taking a photo with your new controller and posting it onto a social and then uploading that to the Hex Gaming website gets you an additional 3 months. Weird program, but I guess it's a way for them to get some free marketing. So I have tested the Edge, which is their PS4 controller. I have tested the Rival, which is their 2 remappable paddle PS5 controller. I have tested the Ultimate, which is their 4 paddle. Technically it's 2 paddle and 2 button PS5 DualSense controller. And I've also tested their Xbox One and Series Advanced controller, which is their 4 remappable rear button Xbox controller. If I'm not as articulate and witty as usual, I'm a little fatigued, but hopefully when I see this controller, it just wakes me right back up because it's so stimulating to the corneas, which is highly likely because generally Hex Gaming makes some very handsome controllers. Nice faceplates, nice rear shells, but more importantly than just sheer cosmetic design is form over function, or function over form, I should say. How do they perform? Well, in my testing, pretty good actually. Here's a little sneaky Pete detail view of the box, and it reminds you this is a tactical controller. G-Shock check, Oakley's check, Jeep Wrangler in the driveway check, German Shepherd on a leash check, tactical vet bro at the indoor range giving unwarranted shooting advice. Double check. Tactical. Gather around the campfire, children. Grab some s'mores and grab some open some doors. That's what I was gonna say. Custom designed and engineered by Hex Gaming Limited. We only use authentic controllers to build our esports controllers, meaning they start with a licensed OEM factory PlayStation controller, which virtually all of these companies do. AIM, Scuff, Battle Beaver, Evil, they all spec or source a standard controller and then disassemble it, solder their board on there with their remappable paddles, put in mouse click triggers and custom faceplates and back shells and all that stuff. But it all starts from the same stock, which is a factory controller. They're all using Alps thumbsticks, which are notorious for stick drift. I know you're probably thinking, damn, this guy hasn't even opened the box yet and he's been talking for minutes. Well, I'm pretty passionate about controllers and I have a decent amount of knowledge I like to share with the Stallions and Stallionettes, which is my gorgeous, incredibly attractive community here. Okay, box inside of a box, box inception. Get on out of here. You get some good spin on that box. I'm gonna have to give it a couple of points just for that alone. That's insane. Find your thumbsticks here. Little stamp on there. Got your controller in this moisture wicking bag. You have an instruction manual, pamphlet, or brochure. Bonjour brochure. Now your included accessories. You have an instruction manual. This isn't really an accessory, it's just something you're gonna get. No color, but there are large pictures. Very descriptive, very informative. Most importantly, it shows you how to remap the rear paddles. Again, it's 2 paddles and 2 buttons, which I've never seen this design before. You do have 3 different heights and shapes of thumbsticks. You are gonna have a medium and long dome stick, and you are gonna have a medium and long concave stick. They come in a little plastic box like this, branded with Hex Gaming on top. And I actually do like like their thumbsticks quite a darn bit. First of all, the rubber compound that they are using is incredibly grippy, and it doesn't lose grip over time. They actually get grippier the more you use them. I guess the natural oils of your hands mix with the compound here and make it more grippy, but they don't really get slick over time, which is awesome. Not to mention they pop on and off very easily, so it is a breeze to swap them, which I will do right now when we get this bad boy out of its wrap. Outside of the moisture wicking bag, you also have some bubble wrap here. That's just gorgeous. I can already tell just looking through the plastic wrap. You're getting to see it before I see it. I can see out of my peripherals, but I'm looking right at you right now. You're seeing the controller before I am. So you've got these resistance rings here. Just kidding, you don't play with these. These are just to keep the thumbsticks safe for their travels. And to swap these thumbsticks, God, this thing is cute. Most masculine thing I've said all day. That's an adorable little controller. I actually prefer dome sticks. Don't tell anybody. Well, that's fine. You can tell everyone. I actually prefer dome sticks. I have all the way back to the PS2 era. I have a lot of controllers that have concave sticks. I've done extensive testing with thumbsticks of different heights, different shapes, different resistance settings. But at the end of the day, as long as the rubber compound is grippy enough to where I can still aim accurately, I prefer the feeling of a dome stick. So let's pop these bad boys off. They do just pop off with friction. Now, I will say you have to use a good amount of strength or force to get them off, and I do feel like removing them and then pushing on new ones over time can speed up wearing down the thumbsticks. So I would mess around with the included sticks, find the ones you want, and just leave them on there until you need to replace them because they get dirty, worn down, your dog eats them, whatever. So we're gonna put the short domed on the left and the high domed on the right. And actually, you don't have a short domed, you have a medium domed. You're actually getting a shorter stick with the concaved, which is what I want. I want the shortest possible stick on the left and the highest possible stick on the right, which is for your actual aiming. So that's what we'll do. It actually looks kind of cool like that too, kind of mix matched. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. You'll get a better look at it when I bring it out front to show you how to remap the rear buttons. Now, like I mentioned, it is 2 paddles and then 2 buttons. These are paddles right here, looking like the wing on a Boeing 747. And then these are buttons. So usually controllers are either paddles or buttons. This actually has both. It's very interesting. So the plastics actually feel really good. Oh, I just noticed that too, that little attention to detail. The anti-friction rings are actually Sakura or baby pink as well, which looks hot. Now, they do offer mechanical mouse-like triggers and bumpers. However, this model does not have them, which I kind of like because you will get the adaptive triggers that get stiffer or lighter depending on what's going on screen. The trigger of each gun feels different. The gas and brake in different cars feels different. So this controller will be usable for a lot more games than just shooters or platformers. Oh boy. So as for these rear paddles, I'm pretty much going to reiterate or say what I did during the initial review of this controller, which was the fact that it's basically a 2-paddle controller with 2 additional buttons that you can hit, but you can't cover all 4 of them simultaneously. You're either going to play like this, which isn't that comfortable. This is ergonomically correct. You want to hold it like this in a neutral grip, and you're able to hit these buttons pretty good. They actually require a good amount of resistance, almost too much, but I think they will break in a little bit over time. At least they did on my other Hex Ultimate controller. But then in order to press these ones here, you can either cock out your ring finger like that. That's just, you know, that's just... So your best bet, what 90% of people are going to do, is just extend their finger out like that when they need to hit one of these buttons. But that means that you can't really hit both of these at the same time comfortably. So really how I would categorize this or describe it is a 2-paddle controller with 2 additional buttons there if you need them. But I wouldn't really say it's like a 4-paddle controller, just because they're not practically usable at the same time. You know what I mean? Hopefully I verbalized that and articulated that point well. But I will say a lot of people actually prefer 2 paddles. A ton of people in my comment section are like, oh, Kevin, 4 is just too many. 2 is the stimulation that I need. So a lot of people actually prefer 2 paddles or buttons, and this is great for that. Because in the off chance you want an extra button or input, you have them, but you have your 2 paddles here. Thumbsticks feel identical to a standard DualSense controller because they are indeed the same thumbstick modules. However, they actually do feel like they have a little bit more resistance, which I'm not really sure why, because again, same thumbstick modules. They do feel very good. The grip on the thumbsticks feels wonderful. I do like the included options. D-pad and face buttons are identical to a standard controller, so they are a membrane design, a little rubber plunger underneath there, but they do feel good. So the very first thing you need to do when you get a new DualSense controller for the PS5 or a new controller for an Xbox Series is to update the controllers. You are prompted when you plug them in and pair them come up for the first time. And on the PS5, this is particularly important. In fact, you can't even launch a lot of PS5 titles without updating your controller first, because these controllers do have adaptive triggers that get stiffer or lighter depending on what's going on screen, and they also have haptic feedback, which is a much more advanced form of vibration. Gone are the days of sloppy rumble force motors rattling around in a hollow shell. Now you actually feel what's happening on screen. It is very immersive. So when new games get released, a new controller update comes out, a new firmware patch, which takes about 10 to 30 seconds to install, and that will make sure that your controller can do all the features of the new game. The DualSense also does have a built-in microphone. This is on all controllers, including a standard, so as you can see, it is muting the microphone, and you can actually go in settings in the PlayStation and make this to where it always defaults to being muted. Remapping the rear paddles and buttons is incredibly simple. I was dribbled on my head like a Harlem Globetrotter as a child, and I'm able to figure this out in about 5 seconds flat. Flipping the controller over to reveal her rump or tuchus, you are going to press this remapping button for about 3 seconds. And as you can see, this light is now illuminated. You are going to press down whatever face button you would like remapped. Let's do cross over here and bind it to K1, which is this rear paddle. As you can see, it flashed 3 times. Now we can move on to the next button while we are still in remapping mode. Let's get circle to this paddle over here. Perfect, and let's finish up with triangle on K4. Or the 4th consecutive year of kindergarten, because I was held back 3 times. I just couldn't get the finger paintings right. Speaking of paintings, this looks absolutely gorgeous. This has got to be one of the prettiest controllers I have ever seen. That flat matte Sakura pink, which is actually lighter than baby pink. So good with the white of the rear shell. Absolutely wild. Super glossy, super slick. It's just a good looking controller. Now let's go ahead and exit remapping mode by holding the remap button for about 3 seconds. That red LED light turns off, and we now are mapped. Try and jump into settings real quick. Awesome. Pressing the circle button to go back. Perfect. As for the pros, I think this controller is cosmetically gorgeous, as it is a limited edition. They only made a limited run of these controllers. I was not able to get the actual quantity that they produced. However, they are going to keep selling these until they run out, and then this design will no longer be sold. So it truly is a limited time theme or colorway. But cosmetically, everything blends together very well. You have this nice hydro-dipped front shell, incredibly slick and incredibly high quality. I have seen some companies out there, I'm not going to name any names. It looks less professional than the hydro-dipping jobs I did in my garage when I was customizing controllers. This looks and feels like it is a factory OEM PlayStation controller. Next up, I do like the 6 included thumbsticks. They are incredibly grippy, they feel good, and they are very easy to get on and off. But like I mentioned, you do have to use a good amount of force or muscle to pop them off, which cannot be good for the thumbstick module, so I'd recommend just testing them out, picking the ones you like, and leaving them on there until they get worn down or gnawed off and you need to replace them. Next up, if you spec or customize one of these controllers on the Hex Gaming Builder on their website, you can add mouse click triggers and bumpers, digital mechanical switches, if you will. Next up, I like how easy it is to remap the rear paddles / buttons. You put it into remapping mode, you are able to remap all 4 of the buttons very quickly and then exit remapping mode. And the rear paddles are remappable to virtually anything on the controller. Face buttons, D-pad, L3, R3, touchpad. As for the cons, their warranty is freakishly short. Keep in mind, I have tested over 3 dozen custom and premium controllers on this channel from major vendors as well as small generic companies on Amazon, and that is by far the shortest warranty I have ever seen. I also am not a huge fan of the fact that you can extend it via making a social media post. It just seems like kind of a sketchy way to extend your warranty. And the last con, shortcoming, or area of improvement for the next version or iteration of this controller, they do have a controller called the PS5 Rival, which is a 2-paddle controller. It is virtually this same design, but without these 2 additional buttons, and it is slightly cheaper. So for people that prefer a 2-paddle controller, they're going to go for the Rival. Somebody that's looking for a 4-paddle or 4-re-button controller wants a controller where they can comfortably, simultaneously cover all 4 of the rear buttons. There are very few gamers out there that prefer to slide their fingers back and forth. And this isn't the shortest travel in the world. You have to move your finger about that much to cleanly hit these rear buttons. Also, it's a little bit off-putting or disorienting that they are 2 completely different switches. These paddles require a freakish amount of resistance and you have to pull inward with your fingers, but then these buttons back here have kind of a mushy membrane feeling and you have to extend your finger out. It's just a lot of thinking to do and you're like, oh, I need to reload real quick. Hold on. Oh, I need to swap weapons. Oh, hold on. It's just a little too involved. A good paddle design should be so intuitive that you don't think about it. It's second nature. It feels so natural. So this controller would be ideal for somebody that prefers 2 paddles, yet occasionally likes to use 4. you have that option here. But if you are a dedicated 4-button controller player, you may be better off looking at some of the competitors like the Scuff Reflex, the Aim V2, Evil Controllers, and Battle Beaver. However, this is by no means a bad controller, and I'm sure there are players out there that would actually prefer this, and this would be ergonomic for them and feel comfortable and natural. So where can you buy these controllers? On their website, that is where I would recommend going, because you can actually spec one out, customize it part by part in their builder, and if you have any issues, you do have customer support directly through the company. Amazon does have a couple of options here, but it is very limited as they are just pre-built, so you're not going to be able to choose what color you want the bumpers and triggers, what color you want the face buttons, what rear shell you want. On the builder, you can actually even change the color of the rear paddle system, which is pretty awesome. Their builder is very in-depth when it comes to cosmetic or appearance upgrades, and I really do like that. And scrolling down here, this is the controller that we reviewed today. There is also a Xbox Series version as well, which looks pretty sweet. And these two right here are also limited time Easter themes as well, kind of a steampunk bunny. I do prefer the pink design that we reviewed here today. Now I do have a 5% discount code, Stallions. Use that at checkout. It will knock 5% off the purchase price. So that's about $13, and they do offer free shipping as well, which is very nice. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go for a little Easter egg hunt. Hunting for kills in Fortnite. I don't know why I said Fortnite. I haven't played that game in probably over a year. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers. This information will reach and assist them as well, which in turn helps me grow this little channel, which I do greatly appreciate. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, as well as honest gaming product reviews, keyboards, mice, headsets, controllers, mics, chairs, etc. There are some hefty exclusive discount codes found only in the description of my videos and only for the audience here at Gamer Heaven. Check out Into the AM for some of the sickest looking and most comfortable cloth to ever grace my gaming giblets. If you don't want to be scorching your corneas with harmful blue light, check out Gamer Advantage, the only blue light glasses on the market that look sexy and actually work. If you're looking for a custom controller that'll blow the competition's tits back, AIM definitively has the best bang for buck or price to performance when it comes to Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch controllers. Nope, they don't do Switch, but they do gaming mice. I said doo-doo. I have links to all my other platforms and socials in the description below. If you need a quick laugh or blast of gamer adrenaline, check my short form videos out at TikTok. To get in touch with myself and the Stallions and Stallionettes of Gamer Heaven, join the community Discord, and check me out at twitch.tv where I go live every other leap year on a blue moon if it falls into an odd calendar number and my pH balance is on point. Just kidding, starting June I'm going to be live streaming a lot. Thanks for watching. This has been AK40 Kevin hosting Gamer Heaven, and I'll see you tomorrow because I upload daily, all the time, 60% of the time, sometimes, most of the time. Peace.